All right, take number 5. Like, no kidding. No, this is like the fifth take of trying to make this video. So please hit the like button. If you're new here, hit subscribe. Anyways, we got Geega here, and we're going to be talking about the VTube community, the VTube culture, and we're going to be explaining it, giving our own opinions on it. And the reason why I'm doing this for the fifth time is because my internet is messy, so I had to download the video for one. But for two, the reason why I'm doing this for like the fifth time is because I think this is a actually very interesting conversation to have, and I think it is important, especially for people that are trying to get into VTubers or the scene or the community. So I'm here to give my advice. Giga's here, and she's actually really amazing at like explaining her thoughts and doing it live. Consistently amazing person when it comes to critiquing or explaining or just being an intellectual person. So yeah, we got Giga here, and then you got me, your boy KhunShawn. So go ahead, hit the like button because I explained that to you like in the simplest way possible. But let's get started.
VTubers again? No.
What happens to a VTuber when they graduate, man?
They die.
They're content creators that get hired.
Chat, are there good video essays on VTubing? Librarian said.
Also, this is the third time I've said this, even though this is the first time you're hearing it. I am interested in making my own VTuber community essay. So if you are a scriptwriter or you're somebody that's familiar with writing heavily, we can go through this and we can make this VTube video essay because honestly, it's pretty important. And if there isn't one, wow, I'd be glad to do it.
I don't know. The ones Kate watches give her the impression.
Let me know. Discord down below.
You're not signing on to anything that you weren't told about beforehand. You got no idea what the f some of these chatters are talking about. Dude, librarian, I don't. Yeah, it's terrible.
Okay.
I am new here. What is VShojo? I'm so glad you asked. It's a content group. VShojo is a company, but also there are VTubers like me that are under the umbrella, and they do talent management for us. They act as an agency for us. Like Hololive, sort of.
And the difference, like the big difference between Hololive and VShojo, Hololive owns the IP and they pretty much own every single thing that comes with that person that's doing the VTube. When it comes to VShojo, they're more hands off. And if anything, they're kind of like a sponsor. So you can do whatever you want in your stream. It's just you have the VShojo tag underneath you. And you also have more resources because VShojo is a company. So stuff that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do, you can do it because you are with VShojo. But VShojo is pretty much hands off from what I've seen.
Difference is many of us were indie. Actually, almost all of us were indie before.
Except for this one on the far right. Her name's KhunShawn. She actually was in Hololive, so it's funny that we mentioned Hololive and the editor put KhunShawn on this video.
And then later joined the company as the same person, the same streamer, the same channel. And the company does not like own our IPs or anything. That's the biggest difference. So we're not,
and it's a big difference. It's a big difference.
Have licensed out some things to them to use if they want in exchange for, you know, whatever.
Whatever VShojo can give you.
Yeah. I would say it's more like one of the content groups like OTV or one of those where it's a bunch of content creators doing their solo thing, but they also are under an umbrella. It's like something halfway between a VTuber agency in Japan and something like OTV. You see the clip of Enel trying to understand VTubers again? No. There was a clip of him trying to understand VTubers or asking a question about them, like what does it mean when they graduate or something, like a while back. And a lot of the advice I've seen in his chat was from people that only like certain agencies and don't know much about like
more than the others.
And a lot of it was like, some of it was bad advice, and I was just like, ugh. He's gonna start a VTuber agency is the name of one of the clips.
By the way, I'm personally not familiar with Library, so if anybody in the comment section can help me and inform me who this person is. Obviously, they're cool with Geega, but I don't know, like, what do they do? Are they like a podcaster, or are they just, like, I don't know. Somebody let me know in the comments below.
I should message Kate and be like, hey, let me help. Let me see, what does he have to say? Not what does he have to say, what did people tell him? I have to have a talk with Librarian, okay? Librarian is VIP'd in this chat. We do love Librarian here, but sometimes I see him say shit about VTubers in his chat.
Let me see this. Geega reacts to Northern Lion being fed VTuber misinformation by his chat. Bro, that title.
I'm like, well, Northern Lion thinks about starting a VTuber agency.
And like I was saying, like the first time I recorded this video, if you're interested in making a VTuber company, you need to be aware that there's a high turnover rate. Even earlier today, we talked about a VTube company that's actually, you know, really good, and they were good to their talents. They, you know, scouted them out and they built up their company. They released music and they were going strong for 3 years, but they recently said they're going to close up shop next month. Because, hey, owning a VTuber corporation is not that simple. Of course, like every other business is not that simple, but like the turnover rate is really high. And I believe it's due to the fact that even though VTubing is amazing and it does have a strong cult following, it's still a niche, right? So how can you grab people to watch your VTube corporation when they're already watching other corporations like HoloLive or a Niji Sanji or a Bishojo even, right? Or they're watching their favorite indies like a Shy Lily or a Bao. How can you grab these people and gravitate them towards your VTube company? By the way, there's other VTuber companies out there outside the ones I just mentioned. Right, so your boy KhunShawn, when he opens up his VTube company, it's not going to be focused on playing games because that's what literally 99% of all the other corporations do. Of course, they do other stuff like idol stuff and talents and having these songs and dances. Your boy, we're going to be focusing on more of the mental, maybe even the spiritual like teaching. So like definitely for my corporation is going to be way different than all these other ones. So that's how we're going to stand out. But how would you stand out in the VTuber Corp? Let me know in the comments below if you were to open up a VTuber Corp, how would you stand out? Because gaming, that ain't
Did I
it.
have to start streaming on the weekend to save librarian's life?
Yes.
Twitch sings.
Let me turn this up.
I saw this posted and I was like, librarian, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. He's inserting too much of his personal tastes into the channel that's about Northern Lion, and then he's then driving Northern Lion's community to ask him and pressure him to get into certain things that I don't think he would originally have an interest in.
Okay, so there's Librarian and there's Northern Lion. So this Librarian guy, I don't know if they're the same. I don't know. Are they both bald guys or is this just one bald guy? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. But what I am getting from watching this is like, okay, there's this guy who likes Hololive, right? And then you have the Northern Lion where they just talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. But because of Librarian, I'm guessing, or Northern Lion, I don't know, but I'm getting their names mixed up too on top of it, right? He's driving more of the VTube community to come to the channel, which is making the other people in said channel having to talk about things that they normally wouldn't. It's very interesting. And let me know if that was the correct actual thing that's going on because I'm not too sure. I'm not familiar with Librarian or Northern Lion or whoever these people are. I'm just interested in the conversation.
How could you, librarian? How dare you? You said librarian's going through it, man. Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, these
Really
definitely aren't the same people.
Like that.
They're just both bald.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And shout out to them for
I
being
think I
bald.
might have
Awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to start streaming Saturdays and Sundays just so you're making banter compilations again instead of whatever the heck that was.
That's what I'm saying. He's in like withdrawals, I think. Various
I don't know
withdrawals.
Withdrawals.
Stuff. I know one of them retired or graduated or something.
Oh, did you see like the Ame graduation clips?
What happens to a VTuber when they graduate, man?
They die.
Pretty much.
College.
That's unironically true half the time. They go to college, or a lot of them are a little older, so they just go back to some form of work that they wanted to do. Or a lot of VTubers
Yes.
that I know do hold that.
Like when you graduate, you're basically just retiring. You're doing a different job. You want to focus on a different career. Or maybe you want to focus on the same career, but you're graduating like an agency. So you're going back into indie so you can do whatever you want instead of having a company tell you what you have to do.
Down jobs outside of streaming. It's a little easier because of the anonymity to hold down certain jobs and be a known streamer, you know? So a lot of them straight up, yeah, they just go to work, man.
I guess maybe the answer is that it's like part of the culture, but like why does a VTuber retire, man?
Simple answer, not all VTubers have to do this, but many of
They
the
don't
most
wanna
known
do it
corpo
anymore, maybe.
VTubers are owned. Their IPs are fully owned. Everything about their character and IP fully owned by the company that they're under, and this is usually JP. And so because of that, if the streamer is not going to stream anymore or they're ending their contract with the company, they don't take the character with them. The
Yep.
IP stays with the company, and
Yep.
the streamer, who's basically like a voice actor plus
A pilot.
call
They're
it a method
piloting the
actor, I
mech.
don't know. The streamer behind the character gives up their channel and all their assets and everything back to the corpo. You said
Yep.
corpo scum. Hey, no, I
Corpo
don't think it's a
scum.
bad business model. I think it's great for the corpos. Like
It's
from the
great for the
business side, it's
corpo, of
great. But then
course.
also, I think it's great for the streamers too, because a lot of the ones that they pick up may not have been that well known before that,
Yeah.
may not have ever made it.
It
It's
gives
really
you an
fucking hard to
audience.
make it. It's hard to get noticed and to ever reach that type of success. So to be able to join a company and you immediately have a fan base thrown at you,
Yes.
crazy. It doesn't really
Yes.
happen outside of that. So people will be
Yes.
like, oh,
And that's like one of the things that I even talked about, like when I was getting into VTubing. It's like, oh wait, so people are joining this company and they get all of this support, not because of them, but because people are already fans of the company. You know, that's a lot of pressure because now you have to live up to an expectation that isn't something that you built. Like you have the expectation of going to be able to be successful in the field because, you know, that's the point of being hired. You got recruited out of hundreds or even thousands of applicants they chose you. You got to shine because anybody else could have got this job, but instead of them, it was you. So definitely very terrifying in a sense. Like you're just gonna maybe you had like a couple hundred people watching your stream. Granted, that's a lot, but your debut, you're probably gonna get tens of thousands of people watching your stream at the same time. That's big. That's big shoes to
I
fill.
hate that they own their IP, blah, blah, blah. But like a lot of these people would never have gotten noticed. They might be talented, but they would never have made it without it because it's just like a lot of
They won't be.
you know,
They
a
wouldn't
lot of
have
luck
been
and a lot
mega
of things kind of
mega stars.
Nobody knows.
That's not
It's
true.
part of idol culture.
VTuber culture and idol culture are separate, but
Yeah,
yeah,
they
it
are
comes from it
separate.
Initially, kind of.
Company owns their IP. How can
Okay.
you fucking own my IP? How can you own my spirit, my avatar? That doesn't make sense.
Because it was given to you when you joined the company. You didn't automatically have your spirit. Your spirit was something that was basically saying, here, you take this spirit, like whatever spirit you have. Now, you know what? You keep your spirit. Let me change that. You keep your spirit, right? Your spirit, that's what got you hired. And they take your spirit and they throw it into a mech. And then you have to pilot this mech with your spirit. That's basically what's happening. And then as soon as you retire, you can keep your spirit, but we got to take the mech back. And guess what? When you put your spirit in the mech, you gave it an upgrade. So all those upgrades you put into that mech are no longer yours.
It's because the company makes it and then has auditions or tryouts for the character, or they audition people who want to be a VTuber and they bring them in and then they hand them the IP and the channels and everything, and they're like, "You stream as this."
Yep.
You make the character. It is you. You know, you're not
You
just an
make the
actor. Like
character,
this is
yeah.
your personality
is
coming
you.
through because you're a live streamer. But no matter how much they build, whatever, it's still it still belongs to the company.
Yep.
And that's why
The
the
upgrades
strat
are gone.
nowadays is to join a company like that for some time, and the moment things start dropping off for you, boom, you leave. Boom, and then you know some of the fan base will break off and go find you later if you become some kind of other creator as an independent. It's the
And the crazy thing is, like, that's not a big strat. Like, that's not a crazy idea. Like, imagine you're a basketball player and you play for like the Shanghai Sharks. Congratulations. But then you get drafted to the league and now you're playing for the Golden State Warriors. Yeah. And then eventually you leave the Golden State Warriors and you go back to do whatever. A lot of people are going to follow you because you played for the Warriors, not for the Shanghai Sharks. Same concept.
sick nasty strat. I hate to say it because some fans of corpos will get real mad about it, but like that's the strat, man. It's like tech workers job hopping. You keep job hopping to get better pay.
It's like leaving a content company like Machinima. Not really.
No, it's a different structure.
Because I fucking left Machinima. I signed like 2 contracts in the back and sent
That's a
Skype
multi-channel
message,
network.
and next day I was on YouTube partner program.
Yeah, difference between a multi-channel network and then somebody owning your whole IP. I mean, like, yeah, they're very similar, right? So talking about Machinima MCN, you take your channel and you're working with other channels to build up this MCN like Machinima, right? Machinima used to have PewDiePie and like legitimately like several other amazing channels. That's the one thing versus you're joining a company and they give you your channel. They basically say, here, this is your channel now. And it comes with a couple hundred, I was going to say a couple hundred, but sometimes it's a couple 100,000 of subscribers right off the rip. Yeah, it's two different things.
Yeah, it's
I
totally
wasn't doing
different.
karaoke or anything. Like I'm genuinely asking out of curiosity. Like I don't know what it means.
A lot of the stuff that people are saying in chat is like kinda right, but I don't know. So this person said, "I've been to the farm with all the old
right.
VTuber avatars."
And I can't even blame the chat because like he's asking this question that has a lot of emotionally charged aspects to it for some people. And so like you're trying to type it out, but you don't want to type out a whole paragraph because there ain't nobody gonna read that shit. And you're doing it in a chat with other people too. So like how can you quickly answer this question? You honestly can't.
The company made the avatar for them.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Really?
Yeah,
that's
that's
Yep.
the newest member of the NLSS.
Yep. If he starts a company, I'll drop everything. Fuck it, I'll do it. For
Interesting.
legal purposes, that was a joke. Sorry.
Yeah,
it was a
yeah,
joke.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
is
yeah.
it? I don't know. Ooh,
I don't know,
Email me.
eh.
Roll the dice. Ooh. That's how I bait out my CEO to send me DMs.
It's like a representation of themselves.
So you do it.
No.
It is.
So they're like.
It is.
I'm being real.
He
This is
is.
a real fucking question. Okay.
To
Let
send
me
DMs.
let me hear the question
That
again.
was like a representation of themselves.
So you do.
The avatar is a representation of themselves if they are an indie. If you have the ability to create your model, that would be a representation of yourself versus joining a company. And maybe because I hear sometimes they have like a bit of input on their model, sure, but at least from what I am envisioning when it comes to joining, they already have like a set design or they have a set concept, and then you have to roll with that. That's not necessarily the same thing. But as an indie, yeah, definitely, that's your representation. That is you in the digital form. The other one, you just have to pilot it and make it yours.
No?
It is.
So they're like,
It is.
I'm being real.
He
This is
is.
a real fucking question, okay?
Yeah.
Is like a VTuber.
Bro is getting so because there's so many different answers.
So much different fucking shit.
Yes, there's so many different
Maybe
answers.
it's different for everybody.
It is.
Is
Yeah.
it a voice actor playing a character?
They
Or
are the
is it,
character.
I've always wanted to stream as a little demon.
Who could that be? It's
Who
both
could that
or
be?
either, depending on the
Yes.
person.
Depending on the person,
Usually
depending
a
on the
small amount of
corpo,
both at the
depending on the
beginning, and then
indie.
it devolves into the latter. And it's that's a deep question. Best answer I can
It
give
is
to
a deep
this right
question.
now is it depends on if you were joining a corpo to become a VTuber or if you just did it independently. Like I'm in a corpo now, but I still own my IP. Whatever, I'm in a corpo that doesn't own that shit. So
Absolutely.
your mileage may vary. But I started off
Absolutely.
as an independent. I just contracted an artist out, commissioned them to make the art, then found someone who did animation, got them to animate the art, had a model, started streaming like literally any streamer would. It's the same as any other streamer.
And you hear all those steps you had to jump through versus you joined the company and the company already did all that stuff for you.
But used a model. Boom, that's a VTuber, right? You could go make like hand cam slime tutorials and have a VTuber model in the corner. Boom, you're a VTuber. Like it's all just content, whatever. But the big difference and the thing that people keep quoting in his chat, which is the outlier case, is the corpo owned ones. But those are also some of the most popular. So that's why everyone's like, oh, it's a big corpo thing. Oh, it's idol culture. Most, like by count, most VTubers are independent, not with a corpo.
Yes.
They're just normal ass streamers, and
Just
they
look
are
at the
just
numbers,
latter
yes.
half the time.
By numbers,
Some of the ones
not
that are with
fame.
corpos, to answer his question, do go ahead and voice act a character, but it's a big blend of both of those things, because while they're voice acting, sometimes a little bit, they're more so, rather than being in character, they're being on brand, if that makes sense. There's kayfabe like wrestling, but
Yeah,
their
like
own
wrestling.
brain is coming up with stuff. They're not reading a script. They're still saying shit that they would say normally anyway. It's kind of a mix of both.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met any VTubers being in this kind of industry for forever that just voice act a character and are just in character. It's more
Yeah.
like you'll be playing a game, you'll be playing Minecraft, and they'll be like, oh shoot, dude, that's crazy, remember? And then someone will reference something that they had a reference to
Lore.
in their lore, and they'll like say a quip
Lore.
that references their lore, and you'll be like, that's right, you did
That's
have
part of the
color
character.
red in your lore a lot. Whoa, and then you go right back
you
to
were
playing
a
Minecraft.
knight. You
There's some
did
that are
slay
super
the
deep in
demon.
kayfabe. Yeah, a few, but honestly not that many.
Kayfabe's cool.
There's some independent and some studio. You tell me there's fucking like JYP Records is out there hiring actresses to
Yeah,
voice
basically.
VTubers?
Not literally JYP, but that's basically what the agencies are. Yeah.
Really? What do you think HoloLive is? I don't know what the fuck a HoloLive is.
Yeah, you don't know what it
man.
is.
Why would he have a formulated opinion on that?
Yeah,
he
he
never
doesn't
looked
know
into
what it
people.
is.
People, I can't stand people doing this thing.
You
They're
don't
like,
know what
you
this
don't know
is?
everything about the thing that I know a lot about. No,
Oh,
no, that's
no.
not how it works.
Sports.
Yeah, he likes the
There's
Canucks.
options for it and everything. I'm learning a lot.
What you know about the
HoloLive
Buccaneers?
was at the baseball game? Yeah. Well, I don't
Oh,
know.
Okay,
classic.
cool. Okay, cool. Like, yeah, at the end of the day, bro, like, as much as y'all want to flex HoloLive, right? And I love HoloLive, right? So don't get me wrong when I say this. This is just some real shit, right? As much as y'all want to flex the Dodger Stadium thing, that was big for VTubing. What does that have to do comparatively with the Super Bowl? Absolutely nothing. Just because it was big for VTubing, and it absolutely was, does not mean it was big across the entire world, my guys. Y'all need to realize that y'all are too much in y'all online bubble. Take your ass outside.
My bad. The content creators that get hired. This is great. You're changing you're blowing my world, man.
Genuinely, I don't think there's any instance of like talent agencies creating and hiring in content creators to stream under a name or identity that the company owns other than VTubers. I think that's the only time that I've seen that. And the companies that like own the IPs are
Well-
almost always Japan based.
So they actually have tried this before, right? They've tried this in rap. They called them industry plants. So any person that wants to be a rapper, right? There was this kid called Jumex, and he had like one big song, but essentially he's not really a rapper due to the fact that he was created by a company, right? And in rap and in hip hop, that's shamed. Here in the VTube world, hey, you got picked and you got chose to be this character for a big company. That's an honor. In the other world, in the other realities of mediums and medias, that is not normal, and that is 9 times out of 10 not respected. This is the only thing where it's respected, and that's due to the fact there's a lot of things that go into being VTube and being part of a company and an organization. So for Jumex's for him, like for the example, right? He was just a regular schmegular kid making all right, if not all right, like mid-ass garbage music. And a record executive came in and said, "Let's take this kid, give him some face tattoos, give him some colorful hair," because that was big, like in 2016, 2017. Y'all know Lil Pump. I know y'all remember him. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. It has 1 billion views, so I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that. If not, it is what it is, right? The point is, they took him, gave him some colorful hair, gave him a song, right? He didn't create the song. He just sang the song or rapped the song, right? They gave him a song, they gave him a music video, they gave him the look of somebody in hip hop. And when people found out that it wasn't legitimate, they threw it away because they were like, "What is this? This is not legitimate. This is BS. This is not real." Versus VTube, like it's kind of the opposite. It's like they picked somebody because they were talented and they said, "We want you to work for us," which is like definitely a JP thing, right? Going back to Idol Industry. Shout out to Oshino Ko because I've been watching that. I'm on episode 2, right? So you definitely have a big difference in different cultures, in different medias, in different mediums. But VTube, definitely different.
They're not usually like Western at all, like my corpo is, right? Like mine is Western. I was an independent, I was just a standard ass streamer. They picked me up. There's some people that, you know, started with our company, but even then the company doesn't own their shit. They own their shit, you know? This is interesting.
You'd be a great Humpty Dumpty VTuber. My ass would not sign the deal, man. I'm kind of losing it because people are like,
Yeah.
it's a 3D model. How do you expect them to make it? Well, some motherfucker made it.
Yeah, somebody had to make
Watch
it.
like a video essay on VTubing. Like it's in the industry.
Chat, are there good video essays on VTubing? Librarian said, I don't know, but the ones Kate watches give her the impression corporations are evil and steal all their money. You're not signing on to anything that you weren't told about beforehand. They give you the contract and they're like, here you go.
Bro, people do not read their contracts. So Giga, I have to say that like that's BS. Like you read your contract, bro. Pippa Pipkin did not read hers. You know what I'm saying? Other people have not read their contracts, and which is why, again, high turnover rate when it comes to VTubing. A lot of people are not reading these contracts. A lot of these people are like fresh out of high school, or maybe they're just like streaming and they're getting a couple hundred views and they have the chance to get a couple 100,000. So they say, okay, well, I'm gonna just try and join because that's all that matters. Reading the contract doesn't matter. I just want to get in the company. Let me join. Right. So not everybody reads the contract. And of course, that's a them problem. But I think this is a big problem just in general when it comes to VTubing because there's so many black companies and so many black VTube companies, right, that absolutely extort their talents. Like this is not hyperbole. This isn't like, oh, maybe some do. Like, no, like I won't say a majority, but I will say a lot of VTube corporations definitely aren't, giving the best interest in their talent. I will say it that way.
Here's all the detail, you know? And the person goes, okay, and signs it. But it was the thing I said before, right? Boom, instant. You'll have a fan base. They do everything for them sometimes when it comes to like merch stuff and all of that. And they'll take a good portion of certain types of revenue and everything. But if you compare that to them getting 100% of a tiny channel that doesn't really make it, it's really good. It benefits them a lot, you know? Oh,
you may find estimates for a 3D model in the range of $3,000 to $5,000. I get it.
Sounds about right.
Wow, that's fucked up though. Is this like,
Yeah,
listen, a guy who knows nothing about the industry and only found out like one thing? Hey, I'm gonna turn this whole system upside down. But like
I was gonna say, vertical slice, buddy, vertical slice. New chatter, tuned out for 20 minutes, Northern Line Watcher. Why is the librarian everywhere? I can never escape this. He's right next to you in chat. You'll never run fast. You'll never get away.
Aren't
Right next
on
to you in
these,
chat
like,
is
really
crazy.
huge VTubers? Aren't they like
Yeah.
investing $3,000 to $5,000, or I don't know, maybe like $5,000 to $20,000, and then
The overhead is justified. You will make it back during your debut date of the new model. like it'll cover it, and now you have something new and fresh for people that they'll draw fan art of, whatever. It's a marketing boost. So yeah. It's
Especially when it
like,
comes to Corpo.
people hear the
For
number and they'll be
indie,
like, I can't believe they have that kind of money to spend. But I'm like, no, it's
It's an
cycles.
investment.
It's a cycle, and it's part of the marketing.
it's literally
So
an
it
investment.
works itself out.
then making like fucking shitloads on the back end. They need the upfront investment. I thought you motherfuckers hated
Yeah.
capitalism.
Right? Yep.
Oh, man.
Well, the business owner took all the risk, and not all of them are successful.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lottery system.
Crazy how that works.
You invested don't really pan out, so you
Oh. Of course.
Yeah, like I want to make it clear. I've explained how it works, right? Like what he's saying right now. I didn't spend time on those contracts. No way. I signed one that's like, keep my shit. They don't take much of anything. Anything they do is very reasonable for the services that they render and management helping me out. I did not sign that contract, you know what I mean? So yeah, I just...
When he retired from Spot,
But it's crazy because some people did sign that contract. And it's because they didn't read it. So, hey.
Spider-Man, they were like, here's another dude, and he's like the new Spider-Man.
Oh.
When a VTuber retires, isn't it like no one's ever going to be Spider-Man ever again?
Yes, although it has happened before. Yeah, they don't hire a new person to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man dies.
It's
yeah,
necromancy.
It's happened before, and it's worked out. If I stop...
You know, I think maybe we could do this, right? I feel like this is definitely something possible, right? Of course, right now it's not something that people are a fan of, right? To reuse somebody's model after they already graduate. It's like robbing the grave. But what if we did do a Spider-Man situation? Because Andrew Garfield is not the same as Tobey Maguire. They're both Spider-Man, but these are two different versions of the same characters. So I won't use anybody that you guys care about. Let's use Hex Haywire, right? Hex Haywire from Niji Sanji graduated. Now, what would happen if we got somebody that, wasn't like Hex, but similar enough, and instead of using the old Hex Haywire model, we get a whole redesign, not just a recoloring or an update or a re-debut, like something completely new besides of like the lore is the same, maybe has the same type of hairstyle and eye color, but everything else is different. And of course keep the same like lore and stuff like that. That will be like a reimagining of the same character. Maybe that could possibly be a thing in the future. Maybe not right now, but you never know. 10, 15, 20, 30, 45, 80 years from now. Never know.
VTubing if I stopped streaming and I handed this model to a friend and then some totally different person was like, hey, I don't think anyone would watch. I think people would be like, this is so weird. Because it's not replacing someone saying lines. You're replacing like an actual real person and a whole streamer.
That's true.
Imagine if I found a new bald guy who has, a wife and child. And I said, hey, NL's real tired of this whole streaming thing. Can you play Super Auto Pets every day for like a couple months?
I mean, hey, look at Quebblecop, right? And of course, like Quebblecop AI is definitely not the wave. That being said, look at Binging with Babish. When they got Binging with or something with Andy, it's like a different character on the same channel or a different person on the same channel. I think this thing could definitely work. It's just how you implement it, right? And that, of course, is to be determined and in the future. And of course, what I'm saying, a lot of people might not like because emotional investment, 100%. That being said, capitalism.
Just real quick, how much do you like UFO 50? Can you hop on there and just, cover the hours? And that's why VTubers don't hire or the companies don't hire a new person to play the character usually, because it's like a whole ass streamer, not just some lines.
There might be Spider-Man 2. Yeah, but it's not Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Like
It's
if
not the same.
Fauna retired, does Fauna come back with like a different voice a year later?
No,
That'd be crazy.
This is I honestly.
No, if anyone in this chat who said yes, shut your mouth. That has happened, but for the most part, they would never.
I honestly thought VTubers were just like Chibli.
Chibli. Yeah, they are.
Thought it was just like
I don't know what
person
Chibli
who
is.
was like, I want to stream, but
Yeah.
I don't want to like reveal my face or identity, so
That's
I'm gonna
yeah.
be a 3D avatar.
That's exactly it for the majority of VTubers, straight up. That's literally all it is. It's not that deep. All the corpo and IP owning stuff is like for a small fraction of very popular VTubers owned by JP Corpo. That's it.
I didn't know it was like this, man. There's a whole side to the culture I'm completely ignorant of.
Most VTubers on Twitch are the latter.
95% of YouTubers or of VTubers are like chibli. There's flesh
Yeah, that's true.
tubers who are corporate owned. Is that true?
They're not corporate owned. Like for our company, we've got like KhunShawn, right? She started as a VTuber. Eventually, she showed herself the human, and now she streams like sometimes as a VTuber, sometimes as her.
And the thing is, it's interesting because it's like the shoujo, like we said earlier, they're like a sponsor, so they're not even really corporate owned, even though they technically are, right? The corporate doesn't own the IP, but they are in the company, so they have like a form of ownership of them. So with K-san and with K9 Kuro, these people that do flesh tubing and flesh streaming, it's like technically speaking, because you are still representing the company, whether you're using your model or not at the end of the day. So I guess corporate owned wouldn't be the exact phrasing, but a corporate resource would be, yeah, they're a corporate resource.
But she's not corporate owned. She's just managed because our company doesn't like own your shit, you know? The ones that show their faces are almost never within the corpos that own your stuff. Or they're more likely to be like independent, just like a Twitch streamer, you know what I mean? You got no idea what the fuck some of these chatters are talking about? Dude, Librarian, I don't, yeah, it's terrible. Oh, or here's my favorite. The majority of VTubers are just pandering to horny guys who want to talk to anime girls. Let's be real.
No.
I, as a VTuber, can say that my average chatter, now this is my community, not every VTuber community, but my community, my average chatter.
But look at the comment, bro. The majority of VTubers are pandering to horny guys. I would say no, not the majority. I feel like there's definitely a minority that do that, and they do it to a large extent. But solely only like pandering to horny guys specifically, I don't think so. But then again, I'm not really on here like that. So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below.
Want to talk to anime girls, let's be real. I, as a VTuber, can say that my average chatter, now this is my community, not every VTuber community, but my community, my average chatter is a dude who's at work at his tech job. He's likely in his late 20s or mid 30s.
Hey. I mean, does this count as a tech job? I guess it technically does, but hey. I turn 27 next week. Leave me alone.
Monitor to listen to me like a podcast
Leave me alone.
while he's doing his work. Yeah, same demographic. Holy fuck, she knows. Yeah, I know. That's my demographic. Are there VTubers with that
Shout
kind of
out to the
community?
tech bros.
Yes. Are
Yes.
there lots of normal
There's a lot of
streamers, not
IRLs
VTubers
that do
with
that.
that kind of community? Yes. You know what there's a lot of on the internet?
Porn.
Sexual content.
That
It's
too.
like the biggest industry, which means there's a big
Sex
market for
sells.
it. And I find VTuber communities are more often than not people that are just like, they're just playing video games.
Yes, they're playing video games.
I'm not gonna watch it.
Don't watch
Look
it.
at
Don't. They're all
ChatGPT.
bad.
This is like if you told me that Mouth was like a Canadian Tire plant.
He was not actually Canadian, though.
The official Canadian Tire streamer or something.
The thing is, like, you think that's crazy, but they're actually VTubers with these kinds of, like, brands.
Yes,
brand
a
is, like,
specific-
actually just a guy who works in an office, you know?
Yeah, a specific type of
fucking
niche.
YouTuber, not for profit, man.
in a niche.
We gotta be out here like doing some indie fun shit. We gotta be like, I'll buy you
Yeah.
the 3D model, and then you can
That'd be
pay
cool.
me back the model cost over like 36 months or something
Sounds like an angel investor.
like that. And once
That's a good idea.
Once you paid it off, you're good to go.
I've actually considered doing that myself.
That's cool. Yeah, y'all should do that.
Zen wanted to do
That's
something
nice.
like that. She wanted
Because that will legitimately help the niche grow. Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
to just go and like, but she didn't want them to pay her back. She just wanted to like raffle off a fucking model or like find a small
Oh yeah, I
one
remember
and
that,
just
right? Didn't she
do
do
it,
that?
you know?
Did
You
she
know
do
what?
that? Did she
What
do
if I
the
did like
raffle?
a scholarship? Ooh, something like that. I think that would actually be really nice because some of them are really good streamers, but their model, no offense, is just, it just looks terrible or it looks like uncanny. And I'm like, I can't look at this. Like, this person sounds great and they're entertaining, but I can't look at it because their model's like fucked, you know?
Give them an
And I
upgrade.
would love to help people like
Yeah,
that.
that'd be
Yeah, a
cool.
lease. Ooh,
A
rent
lease?
to buy, perhaps?
Yo, yeah, okay, now it's getting crazy, bro. Leasing models? Oh my gosh, dude, that's a whole untapped market. And it's a deviously good idea, too. to lease models. Like, I have some of the best VTube artists in the industry, and if you want to be a VTube artist, boom, we'll lease you out the model. You give us 10% of every single thing that you make until you can pay it off. Boom. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It could work. But I ain't gonna lie, that's a big gamble because that's like, bro, how do you even like legally get behind that? You probably gotta sign a bunch of paperwork to do something like that.
Maybe we could landlord it. You know, hey, I know how you guys feel about landlording, but hear me out. The model might work here in a sort of landlord structure. That's all I'm saying. He said, walk it back. Walk it. No. Rent
It's
the
possible.
tube. Rent the tube.
Just remember,
It's
me if you get
possible.
an opportunity or something like that.
Yeah.
Imagine, dude.
Yeah.
That would be so good for my family.
Honestly, yeah, if you already make money, I feel like bro, if you legitimately already make money, I think VTubing would be an amazing investment. And you know what? I'm putting it on my website.
Viewership.
Yes! Hey, I watch you. Don't worry, pal. I'm right here.
I don't know. It seems like one of those things that you're all, like, this is what Reddit was like in like 2009.
Yeah.
You'd be like, are you guys sick of fucking the grocery store bending you over and hitting you with back shots every time you buy a loaf of bread? Well, we're going to sell bread at cost. And then it gets like 250,000 upvotes on Reddit. People are like, you got to go to like fairbread.com and buy your bread.
Oh.
And then it goes out of business catastrophically. Because it turns out like the business is like 100 times harder than you thought it was as an
Many
outsider.
such cases.
It's not easy.
Oh, I can't believe
It's not
I
easy
didn't
being a
know how to
business owner.
enter an industry I don't know anything about. That's so crazy.
Surprise.
It happens, you know,
It's crazy.
more than you think.
But if you do know,
Oh, okay. I paid for
That's only half of it.
people's VTuber rigs, and none of them got profitable. And like,
Yeah.
I only have email addresses for all of them, and 80% of them have already quit.
crazy. Yeah, because that's a big, like, again, you have to have a lot of paperwork to do something like this because you're betting on somebody else having a profitable career. Profitable enough to at least pay you back. Like, bro, you know how much of a gamble that is? Like, that being said, definitely if the niche gets popular, like way more popular than it is now, it's possible. It's definitely possible, but it's definitely a huge risk. But hey, big risk, big reward, as they say.
Let me tell you something. Let me go and get 100 people that want to stream but have never streamed before and buy them all webcams and let me get them to make money to pay me back. It's the same equation. Same,
Except
because
a
like
little
I
bit
said,
harder.
majority of VTubers
A
are
little bit
just
harder.
streamers. There's nothing special there other than they're just streamers with a model. That's all. Anything else that they do about world building, whatever, their first stream
Building a
ever, they're like,
community
here's
and all
my
that.
lore, and then
Yeah.
after that they're like, anyway, I, the demon god of whatever, I'm gonna play Minecraft today. We're gonna do Skyblock, and it's just gone. It's just gone. They're just a
Yeah.
streamer.
Yeah, we don't have your money. It's in Chibli's avatar and Dan's and Mouth's.
I want to make Chibli a VTuber. People keep saying they're like, I want NL to be a VTuber, but I think a lot of his brand is in his face already. So, you know, that would be stupid for him to get a model and like actually try to use it. Not that he would. Kate should get one. I think she'd do well with it. She's already no face cam. Kate did say she wanted something super simple a long while ago. Oh wait, I remember that. Actually, she did. If you need anything, I'm here, I guess. Sentence
Make
verbatim.
sure they have enough food, man. I don't
Can't
think
recover from
YouTubers
it.
are taking anything away from me. It's like when
No.
the people try to get me mad about the hot tub streamers.
Hold on.
Oh,
He
boy,
accused
segue
me
into
of
hot tub.
siphoning his viewers one time, a long time ago. He probably doesn't remember. And to this
Oh,
day,
okay.
chatters occasionally reference it. Remember that time you siphoned 2 viewers from his stream because you were in his stream talking and you had a check mark?
Uh-oh.
Do you remember that?
Uh-oh.
Shake me down. Fucking remember that, you know? Just saying. Does that with everyone with a check mark? Oh,
Hey,
yeah, I know.
Giga, congratulations, by
Yeah,
the way,
there's-
on being the newest
Thanks.
VTuber in the V Shoujo lineup.
You guys always play this soundbite, but he probably forgot about this 3 days later.
For real.
He was just trying to figure out like
Jojo, what's
what
that?
that meant. Like when he sees a headline on Twitter and it's like, "This VTuber joined this company," because I could see he's still like mystified by it a year later. It's not that he has a special interest in it.
Wait, it's been a
his
year since
chat
Geega
doesn't know
joined?
how to explain it to him. They have no
Damn.
fucking clue.
I don't know if we have that much overlap.
Show
There's nothing
Tomo.
to be mad about. If
True.
anything, I'm jealous they get like those lifestyle sponsorships.
I always forget that your outro has a VTuber in it. Did he approve this? Librarian, did he approve this? Is he aware that this is yet another VTuber reference?
Probably
I think
doesn't
you need
even
help.
know.
I think he needs to be streaming on the weekends. He doesn't approve shit. Well, it's over, man. You love Ame? I don't know how to break it to you. She's an animated character. So sorry. So sorry, it's just not how it goes, man.
I
Yeah,
think
it's
that's
just
everything
pixels.
for
And
the
I know
conversation.
that VTubers are all AI. How much bad information there is out there on VTubers on VTubing. Or
There's
not
a
even
lot.
bad information, just incomplete.
Yeah, incomplete and a bit of misinformation.
Motherfuckers will be in chat. They'll have watched like only VTubers from one little pocket, and then they'll go
And they'll know
answering
everything
questions
about it,
VTubers.
bro. Like, yes, absolutely. And that's the thing, because VTubing is tricky because of how niche it is and how segregated a lot of things can be, right? So if you only watch Hololive, well, what can you really say about indie? Not shit. If you only watch indie, what can you say about idol culture? Again, not much of anything. So you definitely need to watch both. And guess who watches both? Your boy KhunShawn. So if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe, because we check out everything from Hololive to Indie. And we just checked out Camila earlier. Camila, obviously hilarious, amazing. She was doing Smash Your Pass VTube. So if you want to check that video out, boom, here it is. Go watch it. If you're interested in Hololive, check those videos out as well. Definitely have a lot of VTuber and amazing videos just in general coming to you guys from this channel. W plug. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to Geega. Shout out to Librarian. This is an amazing video and an amazing and important conversation when it comes to the VTube community, VTube sphere. And let me know your comments below. What do you guys have to say about it? It's your boy KhunShawn signing out. And until next time, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.